Hello everyone, it's DV here, and today I'm gonna show you a new build I've been working on in the past few days, which is called the Caravaneer. We're gonna roleplay as a Blue Ridge Caravan Company employee, and for that we're gonna use only ballistic all-time weapons with no impairments. By all-time I mean weapons that could have been used in the Civil War, for example, or long time ago, like revolvers, shotguns, the Gatling gun, and so on. We're gonna use no drugs, and we're gonna use also non-meta armor for this one. I feel like the Blue Ridge doesn't have access to a lot of technology, so that fits the team. And it's gonna be a critical / crippling VATS build, and we're gonna use two main loadouts. The first one being the daily driver. For this one we're gonna use single fire revolvers, shotguns and rifles, and we're gonna use heavy combat armor. We're gonna be also low health and make use of all the crippling perks. The second loadout is for raids. For this one the weapons are gonna be the Gatling gun, but especially the shotgun pepper shaker. I feel like the pepper shaker is pretty much some kind of weird weapon that could have been created back in the day by some madman, so I guess it still fits the team, at least for me. We're gonna use T51B power armor. I feel like that's the type of power armor that the Blue Ridge can have access to. And for raids we're gonna be low to full health depending on the stage. Usually I go low health on stage 1, 2 and 3. I go full health for stage 4, and I go something in between for stage 5. And also for this one we're gonna use Furious and the onslaught mechanic. And now let's look into the build. We're gonna be having taken one for the team, which I think it's mandatory on any build. And then 5 specials being strength, endurance, agility, luck and perception. Alright, let's have a look at the perks now. We're gonna use Love the Spread. Weapons that fire 3 or more projectiles gain range. We're gonna use shotguns a lot, so that's definitely a good card for us. Scattershot, 20% of the damage dealt to a limb is applied to all limbs on your target. This one is pretty insane. I'm gonna demonstrate how it works. With a crippling build, this one is insane. Easy target, more damage to crippled targets. That fits the build pretty well, obviously. Shotgun champ, more damage to crippled targets per projectile weapon fires. We're gonna use shotgun, so this one is gonna give us pretty good result. Blocker, because we want to be a little bit tankier. Since we're gonna play low health, it's always a good one to have. Barbarian for more damage resistance. Arms Keeper, level 1. I'm not gonna go crazy on weight reduction on that build, I'm gonna go pretty extreme, I'm not gonna have a lot. But still, I take level 1 of this because I like to loot everything still. So yeah, this one helps. On the perception, we're gonna go for awareness, more VATS accuracy. We need that for the shotguns because they are definitely not accurate. You need to be very close to get good accuracy, so any VATS accuracy I can get is good. Number cruncher, we aim for high AP cost on weapons, so this one's gonna get us pretty good damage increase. Downranger for range damage to far enemies. This one is mostly for the single action revolver we're gonna use. Tormentor, even more damage per crippled limb your target has, so yeah, crippling build, so this one needs to be here. Tank killer for armor penetration with small guns. And fast fighter because yeah, our weapons don't have a big ammo capacity, that's for certain, so we're gonna reload fairly often, especially with the single action, so we need a little bit of a bonus here. Under endurance, life giver, we play low health, so any HP we can get helps us. Iron stomach, natural resistance and thirst quencher. That's a trio I always use on human builds for more resistances in general. Rad resistant, this one is a choice that I made because I use heavy combat armor, and this one has 0 rad resistance, so we need at least a little bit, as much as we can get. It's still gonna be pretty bad, but yeah, I need this one. Star Genes, mandatory if you are mutated. Rejuvenated, I had the room for it. Ironclad for more protection in general. True Hiker is the second weight reduction perk that I use, and that's gonna be the last one. I can do without, but I'm gonna carry a lot of food because I loot everything all the time. Fireproof rank 2, can't take rank 3, I don't have the room for it. As you will see later on, I'm gonna use a dense mod on the armor, so this plus that does the job very well. Under charisma, we have bodyguards, more damage energy resistance based on your charisma. Since we're playing with unyielding armor, we're gonna have a fair amount of charisma, so this one is gonna help us. Magnetic personality, we're gonna get even more charisma when in a team. We're gonna be in a team most of the time, so that's a good boost. That's gonna feed into this one. Strange in numbers, we are mutated, we need this. And spiritual healer, we're gonna regen HP based on your charisma, so it's gonna be fed by this one, plus the fact that we use unyielding armor. Under intelligence, not much. Nerd rage, we're playing low health. We can get more damage with this, so definitely mandatory. Under agility, we're gonna go for the crippling perks, obviously, so modern renegade for 75% limb damage. Enforcer for also 75% limb damage, plus a chance to stagger. Evasive, mandatory on a low health build, I would say. Gunfu for convenience. Adrenaline, mandatory, except for raids. It's not a raid build, so we use that for sure. Gunslinger for more damage to the weak spots. We're gonna play VATS, so definitely a good one to have. Guerrilla, because I had the room for it. A little bit more damage to close enemies. Packing Light for AP regen. I chose this one instead of Action Girl or Boy, because apparently this one works better if you choose one rank of any of the two. Underluck, Serendipity, mandatory on a lower health build. Ricochet, mandatory overall all the time. Junk Shield for even more resistances. For this one, don't forget, the cap is at 100 junk in your inventory. So what I do usually when I go back to my camp, I empty everything into the scrap box and I take back 100 cork scrap. It's lightweight and it's gonna do the job. Better criticals and critical savvy, it's a crit build, mandatory. Quick hands instead of bloody mess, because yeah, bloody mess is gonna be related to bleed damage later on with a new update, so I get used to getting something else instead immediately with quick hands. Our weapons have fairly low ammo capacity, so quick hands is sometimes pretty cool when it triggers. It doesn't trigger enough, but it's a cool one to use. An alternative would be Grim Reaper Sprint, probably, or one level of 4 Leaf Clover and 2 ranks of Grim Reaper Sprint. I chose quick hands, why not? We're using revolvers and shotguns, they don't have a lot of ammo capacity, so yeah, it's cool when it triggers. And Class Freak, mandatory when you are mutated if you ask me. And that's all for the perks. So one of our staples here is gonna be a single action revolver for small to medium mobs. The idea is to one-shot them, so we went bloodied and pinpointers on that one. It works fairly well on pretty much anything, but level 100 super mutant is pretty much the limit for this one. You need a little bit of adrenaline to one-shot them, but it still works. And for the mods in general, the weapon mods, we went for high VATS accuracy, high AP cost, and as much range as we can. Another weapon we're gonna use is a pump action shotgun. The legendary effects on that one are exactly the same as for the single action. The goal is also the same, but for more tankier enemies like level 100 super mutants. The third weapon we're gonna use for bosses in general and super tanky enemies is a double barrel shotgun with quad, crippling, swift and bullies. Here the idea obviously is to cripple the targets as much as we can to take advantage of bullies. And now we're gonna look at the utility weapons. The first one is a tagging weapon. For this one I went bloodied, crippling, swift and fracturers. The idea with limb damage here is to trigger fracturers and hopefully hit more than one enemy at a time. Another utility weapon we're gonna use is a medic's pump action shotgun to heal NPCs when needed. It works super well. It's fun to use, and I also used the electrician's mod because why not, right? I had it on the side, I wanted to see how it behaves, so I decided to slap that one on it. And lastly, when it comes to utility weapons, good old Syranger with Endangerable. On the armor side now, we're gonna use combat armor with unyielding, endurance and sawbones. And for the third star, I went for a mix of Cavaliers 3 times and Sentinels 2 times. All of the pieces are gonna have the Brotherhood of Steel mod. That's the best you can get for this armor, so that's that. On the chest, I used a Dense mod for reducing the explosive damage. This plus Fireproof rank 2 really works super well. On the arms, I went for ultralight build for more AP. And on the legs, I went for custom fitted to use less action point cost for sprinting, because I'm gonna sprint a lot with that build. I'm gonna run and gun a lot because it's a shotgun build, and it works fairly well. Okay, resistances now. Here what I'm showing to you is when I'm not in a team without any buffs of any sort, so that's pretty much the base you can expect from that build. So that's pretty good already. We have above 700 in damage resistance and energy resistance, above 50 on the elemental ones. And the problem with this build is going to be the radiation resistance. On the special side, without any buffs, we have these numbers, which is pretty much around 30 on most specials except charisma and intelligence. For mutations, it's pretty much the usual stuff: adrenal reaction, bird bones, eagle eyes, egghead, healing factor, earth mentality, marsupial, scaly skin, and speed demon. We also have grounded here because since we use only ballistic weapons, grounded is pretty cool. And I'm carnivore. Obviously, if we go for a crit build, we should more than likely go for herbivore, but I like carnivore too much, so I'm gonna keep that as it is. Alright, now we are in a full team with all the buffs I could get from my camp, food and player buffs. And as you can see, the numbers went up. So we have now around 900 in damage and energy resistance. The elemental ones went a little bit higher, and the radiation one went a tiny bit higher as well. The specials also have gone up. Now we have 37 in strength, 48 in perception, 37 in endurance, 31 in charisma, 33 in intelligence, 50 in agility, and 41 in luck. So when it comes to the luck and critting every other shot, we definitely covered here. Now let's have a quick look at the type of food I use most of the time. Company tea, pemmican. Usually I go for these two at least. The other ones is pretty much optional, you don't really need them, but I generate them from my camp, so I take them. Alright, here we are now inside Westech for some testing, but before we do, I need to explain the reason why I didn't went for Furious and Onslaught on that build. The reason is pretty simple. The first one is I need space in agility for the perks I want to use for that crippling purpose, which is Modern Renegade and Enforcer. That's already 6 points. In addition to that, I definitely want Evasive, Gun Fu, and Adrenaline. That's 4 more points. That leaves me with pretty much 5 points. And 5 points is not enough to run proper Onslaught. And in addition to that, I use pistols and rifles, which are definite reverse Onslaught type of weapons. But I want to use shotguns at the same time and switch between them. So shotguns are definitely not working well with reverse Onslaught, so the doggo need to go. But as you can see, yeah, it's a little bit too short for level 100 super mutants. We need a few stacks of adrenaline to one-shot them. Well, this one got some ricochet, so that doesn't count. Where is he? No, he's not there. Where is he, that one? And this one went. So we need 5 or 6 stacks, I would say, to one-shot them with the pistol. But yeah, that's why we have this pump-action shotgun. So we're gonna keep going with that one. We're gonna wait until the adrenaline stacks are gone to see if they are one-shots with this one. Alright, our stacks are gone. Let's go inside. I'm gonna go for one super mutant immediately. This one had some ricochet, so that doesn't count, but this one did not, and as you can see, it's a definite one-shot. So yeah, the pump action packs a tiny bit more power than the single action. And it works fairly well, so if I want to clear Westech, I'm definitely going to go for the pump action. Loadout works super fine. Alright, let's try a Scourge Beast now. We are lucky enough to get a 2-star legendary. I cleaned the area beforehand. So for Scourge Beast, pretty easy. We take the single action, we cripple the wings, as you can see. Definitely works, so she's crippled. At least the wings are. And we're gonna see how we can do against a 2-star with the double barrel once she is on the ground. It always takes a billion years, but here she is. We're gonna go close, obviously, the shotgun. And now we unload. We get hit, that's fine. That's good. Just one clip, perfect. But yeah, as you can see, radiation can be an issue, so I always have Radaway and Radex diluted on me. Because yeah, the rad resistance on that build is just really not good, so yeah, that's a downside, but that's how it is. Alright, for something way tankier now, we're gonna try our double barrel shotgun on Yogwa. If you don't know about this one, it's right here near the old Crymora mines. There's always an Ogua spawning here. If you want to test your weapons, that's a good spot. And we're just gonna go straight in his face, I guess, and see how it goes. The good thing here is that quick hands triggered, so we definitely destroyed him. Alright, we are back at the Ogre again, and now we're gonna have a look at how the Scattershot perk works. That's the one who just, you know, transfers part of the limb damage to other limbs when you shoot a limb. And we're gonna see how it works really. So for that, we're gonna shoot that guy's head. Fully crippled now. As you can see, some of the limb damage has been transferred to the other limbs. But what I was asking myself when I started playing with this is that if you keep shooting a limb that is already crippled, does the effect still working or not? So in order to verify that, we're gonna check the torso. It's pretty much at say 2/3 now, right? And we're gonna keep shooting the head to see how it goes. And now, as you can see, everything is crippled, so it keeps working after the fact that you have crippled the limb. If you keep shooting it, the effect still works. So if you want to immobilize an enemy, you don't need to worry too much. You just shoot the head repeatedly and it's gonna work. As you can see, it's fully crippled now, so that's pretty strong, I would say. And there you go. Alright, we are back at the Ogua once again for a third test now. What I wanted to know is that how bullies work really, and does it work? So for that, we're gonna just shoot at this guy, shoot him in the head, and see if the damage ramps up the more we shoot it. I'm not gonna use criticals, and we're gonna see, because you should expect the damage to ramp up at some point, the more crippled limbs he has, so let's see. If you could look at me maybe, that would be better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's less now. That's weird, huh? Ah, it's better now. 149, 130, 145, 168, 242. Yeah, it definitely works, huh? We get way more damage the more crippled limbs he has. And definitely now we get full damage because it's fully crippled, so... Oh yeah, not too bad. So yeah, bullies work, definitely. So having Scattershot and a bully's weapon at the same time is definitely powerful. So yeah, it's a good combination for sure. And obviously we're gonna taunt him. There we go. And here we are back at West Tech for some tankiness test this time. So what I'm gonna do is just run into the area here and just aggro everything and see if we can just survive by just standing there. Let's try. Let's get everyone. Pretty much. And we're gonna see how it goes. I'm not gonna do anything, and we're gonna see if we die or not. As you can see, it's pretty damn good so far. I'm not doing anything. Ricochet is taking care of enemies, and my health stays up because of all the perks and soul bones. Okay, maybe this one exploding is gonna do something. He seems like he wants to do it, but doesn't. What the hell is this? Yeah, please. No, still doesn't. Okay, let's go away, dude. So yeah, as you can see, I just don't die. It's pretty crazy. And I also did a challenge by doing nothing, that's great. So yeah, this build is pretty amazing. You don't die, that's just it. Well, I'm crippled, but let's just uncripple real quick. Let's see where that goes, because it just never stops. I just don't die, but they do, and I do nothing. That's pretty crazy.
Alright, let's finish them. That's enough. I guess I made my point here. Plus they are crippled, that's fantastic. That build is amazing, that's crazy. That's crazy. I really love this. That's great.
It is with to be failure is sabotage in progress.
Alright, now that we are done with the daily driver, we're gonna have a look at the raids build. We're gonna take full rank of every heavy gunner perk because we're gonna use the pepper shaker and the Gatling gun, so definitely we want to use that. They are meant to change drastically in the future to do something different, but for now that's the ones we're going to use. On the perception, I have Center Masochist level 2. I don't focus solely on the Guardian for that one, so level 2 is enough and I don't have room for more. Fast Fighter for reload speed bonus. I'm not sure it applies to heavy guns, but it should. Dawn Ranger for the snake, plus 20% range damage to far enemies. Awareness for more VATS accuracy, because honestly on the snake I lack a little bit of accuracy, either with the Gatling gun or the pepper shaker. It's a little bit of an issue, so any VATS accuracy I can get is good. Concentrated fires for the same reason, and also for more damage, and Number Cruncher for more damage as well. On the endurance, it's pretty much the same as for the daily driver, Life Giver, Ironclad, Iron Stomach, Thirst Quencher, Bullet Shield. That's the main difference, because here we want deflection when we are firing a heavy gun, since we do. And on the shield, it's useful. Fireproof, Star Genes, and Natural Resistance, nothing too crazy here. On the Charisma, I go for Strange in Numbers for mutations to have stronger effects. Team Medic to help my team, because why not? I use Tenderizer here, but I'm not sure it's still really viable these days because of the changes, but I couldn't find a clear answer about that one, so I'm still using it. Under Intelligence, we're gonna have First Aid and Field Surgeon to have stim packs working faster and better. Nerd Rage, because I'm gonna go low health on the Guardian, on the Epsilon as well, so why not? Gonna get more damage and AP regen with this. Stabilize for anti-armor properties when firing a heavy gun in power armor. That's what we're gonna do, so we take this one. In agility, we're gonna have the onslaught perks, Gunslinger Expert, Guerrilla Expert, and Master. Packing Light for more AP regen, Action Girl for even more AP regen, Gunslinger for more Widspock damage, and Bone Survivor just in case.
On the luck, we're gonna go for a crit build also here, so better criticals and critical savvy are gonna be in there. Ricochet, definitely important, that one, for the shield of the Guardian, it's mandatory. Class Freak, mandatory as well if you ask me. Curator, because I use bobbleheads and magazines sometimes. Junk Shield for more resistances. And Quick Hands because, yeah, like I said, I want to get used to the fact that Bloody Mess is gonna be something really different in the future, and in here it will be useless anyway, so let's go for Quick Hands. As a bonus, I have also a build that I use to solo EN06 on private servers. There's a few changes. I have more points into strength to take advantage of the crippling damage that we can get on that one, since the shield is a limb and we're gonna cripple it in order to damage the Guardian. I'm gonna make use of Shotgun Champ and Easy Target on that one. On the perception, it's pretty much the same, with the exception that I use Tormentor, do more damage per crippled limb, since once again the shield is a limb, so you can take advantage of that. Center Masochist, because yeah, the Guardian, to kill him, you need to aim for the torso, that's the weak point, so we're gonna use full rank 3 of this one. And Refractor, because I had room for it, I didn't want to use Downranger because I think I'm fighting it really close, and I don't think Downranger is gonna do anything, so I went for Refractor for a little bit more resistance. On the Endurance, it's pretty much the same thing, except I didn't take the perk for elemental resistances and I put Rejuvenated instead. I mean, this one is especially useful for the Snake, and here it's just a solo Guardian build, so that's the only change I have here. Inspirational on the Charisma, that's all I can put in here, and there's nothing else that really does anything, to be honest, so that's that. On the Intelligence, it's the same thing. We have First Aid and Field Surgeon, Nerd Rage, and Stabilized. In here, on the Agility, I went for both Onslaught and some Crippling with Modern Renegade and Enforcer, since we need to take care of the shield as fast as possible. I'm gonna need all this. Guerrilla and Packing Light for more AP regen, and also for a little bit more damage to close enemies. In that case, I'm thinking that I'm in close range of the Guardian, enough for this to work. So yeah, hopefully it does. And on the luck, it's pretty much also the same, except we don't use Quick Hands, better criticals, Ricochet, Class Freak, Curator, Crit Savvy, and Junk Shield. Now for the weapons, we're gonna use 2 Pepper Shakers and 1 Gatling Gun. The first Pepper Shaker is mostly used for the shield phase of the Guardian. That allows us to cripple the shield very quickly, stay alive at the same time while shooting it. Usually I manage to get rid of the shield solo before the ammo runs out, so I don't have to reload in between while the shield is still active, so that's a pretty good weapon for that. You can also definitely heal yourself with this when you're shooting something, so it can be useful also further down the line in the raid. We went for single barrel on that one because I want the fire rate to be a little bit slower, so I can stay shooting longer when the shield is still up. It works well for me. I didn't try a faster fire rate, to be honest, but I feel like this one works so well I don't want to change. The second Pepper Shaker we're gonna use is a Furious, crit damage, that's optimized, and bullies. I use this one to solo the Guardian once the shield is down. It works pretty well. This time I went for dual barrel for more fire rates, and therefore more damage, that's the point. I went for bullies because I use this one, yeah, like I said, to solo the Guardian, so bullies is gonna do better probably than pinpointers, or also polish, since I want to solo it. Polished is not gonna be the greatest, so bullies is probably the best choice for soloing the Guardian. And the last weapon we're gonna use sometimes in the raids as well is the Gatling Gun. For this one I went Furious, Rapid, VATS optimized, and Polished. So yeah, since I use Polished, this one is only gonna be used in a full raid team in order to keep the condition of the weapon as high as possible and not going down, so we can make great use of Polished for way more damage. It's a fun weapon, but the Pepper Shaker does more damage, I would say, for defending the drill, and for the Snake it's not too bad either, so that's that. Now for the armor, I went for T51B power armor. The first star is gonna be full troubleshooters because, yeah, I want to solo the Guardian from time to time, so I'm gonna take troubleshooters, obviously. I don't think you need something else, to be honest, if you want to run the raid. Troubleshooters is pretty good, or overeaters if you go full health. On the second star I went for 3 powered and 2 poisoners. I still want a little bit of poison resistance for the snake because it's pretty hard when your resistance is low, so I wanted a little bit more with that. Powered, obviously, for more AP regen, you need that thing. Sentinels on the third star. For most people it's probably better to have weight reduction. Here for the raid I went pretty extreme. I have 0 weight reduction of any kind, none on the perks and none on the armor, so yeah, it's a choice. It's not super easy to manage, but I managed to do it. And the 4th star is gonna be rejuvenators on the torso, and the 4 other pieces are gonna be, as you can see, limit breaking. I want to crit every other shot with fairly low luck, so with these 4 pieces I only need 18 luck, which I'm gonna be able to reach at every occasion, whether I'm solo on a private or in a full team on a public server, so that's good. Emergency protocols as the mod for the torso, because since I want to solo the Guardian sometimes and I'm doing it low health, so emergency protocols is a really good choice for that particular situation. On the leg, calibrated shocks, obviously, for a little bit more carry weight, because without these, honestly, I couldn't be able to manage without weight reduction perks. And to finish, the helmet as sensor array, just for a little bit more perception, for more VATS accuracy. Now let's look at the resistances we're gonna get with this build. So here it's the raid build. I'm alone in a team still, so that's pretty much the minimum you're gonna get. We have more than 1000 in damage resistance, more than 1100 in energy resistance. We have a fair amount of poison resistance with close to 120. The fire and cryo resistance doesn't matter much if you ask me, but they are there, and radiation resistance doesn't matter either, at least for the raids. Now let's have a look at the specials. We have 21 in strength, 23 in perception, 23 in endurance, 6 in charisma, 15 intelligence, agility 27 and luck 21. So as you can see, luck is high enough to make use of 4 pieces of limit breaking, so that's good. But I have some buffs going on, let's keep that in mind, but I'm alone in a team as well, so. Alright, so here we are at the Guardian. I'm on a private server in a raids team alone. We're gonna take care of him.
Alert.
So usually when I push the
Unauthorized
button,
personnel
I go to the other side.
Activating defense
I'm gonna be
systems.
closer to A, and I'm gonna have a fairly good view of B and C, because it's gonna be mandatory to be very aware of the doors. I'm gonna start with the Syringer, because we're gonna lower the damage resistance of the bot. I'm not sure it does much, but I still do it, because I can. So we're gonna pop that thing as soon as...
Target acquired.
There we go. Switch quickly to the vampire and we start shooting. I don't know why I put out of VATS here, but whatever. As you can see, I can sustain fire and take care of the shield. We switch to the other pepper shaker now, and we start shooting. I'm gonna put myself here to have a little bit of a view of the doors if needed. We reload outside of VATS to get AP back.
Warning, energy usage critical. Temperatures
Here I'm gonna
reaching
have a little bit of a
unsafe
look.
levels.
It's not
Security
C.
bunker online. Take shelter immediately.
And we are lucky it's A. And we can still shoot a little bit. We reload quickly of both of pepper shakers.
Shield memory reactivated. Resume termination functions.
And we start the same thing again. Switch, torso, and we finish it.
Weapon systems.
And there we are.
critical. Shooting systems. Critical. Cooling.
Warning, energy usage critical. Temperatures reaching unsafe levels. Security bunker online.
So yeah, it works.
Take shelter.
I can't
immediately.
find a way to make it a 0-door kill with these weapons. I don't think it's really possible right now. Maybe with bullet, bullet storm later on when they change the heavy gunner perks, maybe. But I'm not sure, to be honest. So yeah, it's a 1-door kill. It's not too bad. It's easily, you can reproduce that easily if you have the exact same gear as me. You're not gonna die. You're gonna do it every time. So yeah, not too bad. So let's have a look at the buffs I use really quickly. I use big guns for this one because we use heavy guns. And also guns and bullet 3 for more ballistic gun crit damage. Obviously, I have them, so I use them, but yeah, it's not mandatory. And for the food, it's the same as for the daily driver, except I use sweet mood fruit tea when I have some for more crit damage, but the rest of the food is pretty much the same, all coming from the camp. And there you have it. So now I'm gonna leave you there with a little montage of raids with a team this time, and I'll see you next time.
Unauthorized. Command center compromised. System detects insufficient countermeasures. Warning, energy usage critical. Temperature reaching unsafe levels. Security bunker online. Command center compromised. System detects insufficient countermeasures. Pursuing emergency security protocol. Stand by. Command center compromised. System detects insufficient countermeasures. Pursuing emergency security protocol. Stand by. Command center compromised. System detects insufficient countermeasures. Pursuing emergency